everybody. Better yet, happy 4th of July, or as it's also known, July 4th. That's right, today is the day we celebrate our country's independence, and we kick off a 3-day holiday weekend. Now, because today is a holiday, I'm fully aware of the fact that most of you will not even see these funnies until you go back to work on Monday. Well, don't worry. Have an enjoyable holiday weekend. When you're ready to enter back into cyberspace, rest assured that your funnies will be just as fresh as the day they were written. I'm using a new comedy preservative now, which guarantees that the punchlines will stay crisp and crunchy. And I'm not aware of any side effects per se, and it may or may not cause birth defects, but just to be on the safe side, you may want to strap on a pair of safety goggles as you watch these. All right, ready to go? Here's the Friday Funnies for the 4th of July. First of all, I think this first story calls for a ban on all sausages, or at least a 3-day waiting period when you go to buy them. In DeLand, Florida, a 46-year-old man attacked his mother with a 3-pound bag of Polish sausage. That's right, he apparently had been drinking and he started arguing with his mother, and goodness knows those two go hand in hand. And before you know it, he threw this Polish sausage at his mother, hit her in the head and grazed her, a little bit. She fell to the floor screaming, "I've been sausaged!" And neighbors heard that. They immediately ran to her aid with jars of mustard and crusty loaves of bread, which they kept the attacker at bay until police arrived. He's currently in jail because he couldn't make a $500 bond, and I'm sure he's having a wonderful time in jail trying to explain his crime to his fellow inmates. I whacked my mother with a kibasi. I'm sure that goes over really well. All right, elsewhere in Florida, with Fort Pierce, Florida, a 41-year-old man was relaxing in the park. He was just sitting in the park in his car and not really doing anything except other than the fact that his pants were down around his ankles and he had an athletic sock over his naughty bits. Well, police came by and saw what was going on, said, "Hey, what's the deal?" And the guy said, "Well, I took my pants off because I was hot." So the police immediately took him to the cooler, where since these are both in Florida, I'm just wondering if maybe he got a chance to share a cell with Sausage Boy. That would be a good duo. And speaking of Florida, the Sunshine State wins the award this week, hands down, for the wackiest location in the nation. It seems that if somebody did something stupid this week, they did it in Florida. I rest my case with the following story in Stuart, Florida. A guy broke into a house. Before he entered the house, however, he took off all of his clothes, left them outside, entered the house naked, found a pair of shorts that the woman who lives in the house owned, put these on, and made his escape, started walking down the street. Well, it didn't take long for people to point out who's the guy wearing only the pair of incredibly tight shorts. And so the police came and picked him up, too. He's currently cooling his heels in the local jail. I want to know what it is about Florida. Maybe it's the sun, maybe it's the heat that fries the brains of these criminals. And if it is, that would explain the logic behind my only non-Florida story this week. It also happened in a warm climate, specifically Norfolk, California. A woman driving her 1988 Cadillac in Norfolk crashed right through the front windows of Joe's Food Mart and Video. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. After the car came to a rest halfway inside the store, she opened up the door, walked over to the cooler, and got herself a 6-pack of Budweiser. As she went up to the counter to pay for it, Joe himself phoned up the police, and they came and got this woman too. She was charged with driving under the influence, and she is sentenced to spending the rest of her life in Florida. Hey, that's all the news I have for you this week, but I wanted to leave you with something very special on this very special edition of the July 4th Friday Funnies. I have gone to great personal expense to prepare a fireworks show just for you to enjoy on these Friday Funnies. So I'm going to aim the camera to the sky, and please enjoy the fireworks. Okay, they're going to take place right up here, and whoa, there they go. How about that first one, huh? Woo, that's a beauty. All right, that was a double red rocket. That I had imported from China, that one there. Oh, yeah, I love when they spell out words like that. This is great, isn't it? Your own Friday Funnies fireworks. I suppose it probably would have been a lot more effective had I set these off at night. But, oh well, live and learn. Whoa, look at that one! All right, very nice. Here comes the grand finale. See ya next week.